How you doing, guys? Friday, December 12th, 2025. Josh Reeves here with you. I'm going to give you as much show as I can until I have to go pee. Then when I have to go pee, the show's over. So I have to go pee once about every 30 minutes, so... medication I'm on, diuretics. Torsemide. That's the name of the diuretic that I'm on. I've had to continue to take it easy, guys. That's why there hasn't been any shows lately. After I made my last film, made that right when I got out of the hospital. This is serious. Of course, you wouldn't know that because only about 5 of you bought it, but buy a copy, you punk. Anyway, after I made that, my blood pressure started going up again, and I had to, Dr. George, I had to chill the fuck out. Not work on anything, not do any shows. So that's why I've been absent. Most of you ungrateful motherfuckers don't care, so whatever. I don't even know why I'm saying it. Probably about 3 of you that actually care. It's so funny. I was sitting there in the hospital having just had not 1 but 2 strokes. And yeah, I'm a lucky motherfucker. I came out of this with no permanent damage. But as I'm sitting there recovering, trying to recover, I had heart failure too. Heart failure, 2 strokes. Yeah, this. And I'm sitting there watching, and I put, I could not say anything. But it's in the spirit of how I've always been. I'm always open and I tell you guys everything, literally. I don't hold anything back or hide anything or reserve anything. And like when I lost my place, I could have kept that a secret. Not said anything about it and continued like business was as usual, I didn't do that. And same thing, but I had so many people. I haven't every time I've been in the hospital. Particularly bad this time, I guess, because it was a stroke. I put up those videos in the hospital, just to put out a lifeline, let you guys know what's going on. I was sitting there as I was recovering in the hospital. Just watch if you unsubscribe from my YouTube channel left and right. Yeah. Tons of people wrote me off, guys. Now, I spent 9 days in the ICU without being able to do shows. We're on the fritz here. I'll have to raise $240 for my temporary place to live. I have to raise that by Tuesday. Then I have to raise another $100 by Thursday to be able to get my meds. Because they give you a month's supply free when you get out. When you get released. But then after a month, you gotta start buying that shit on your own. But it's only 2 refills, so I only have to buy it this month and next month, and then I don't have to. Although I still think I need it after that. I'm gonna have to find a way to get it extended or something. Just the torsemide. The diuretic I was telling you about. I don't know. I don't really notice. Probably the blood pressure medicine probably is helping too. But that's the thing. I don't feel my blood pressure. It's so weird. Like when I first past few times I've been in the hospital, I mean, they have to. I've never had my blood pressure taken once. They take it once. The reading comes back. And it's so high, I should be dead. They go, we got to take your blood pressure again. That can't be right. They tell you again, it comes back. I say, no, I'm just telling you, I just run hot. My whole life, I've had an abnormally high blood pressure. They don't really know why. So, when I had the stroke, or multiple strokes, other than my left arm completely going dead on me, that's what, because it was just so weird, because I was on my way to Parkland. Because the swelling, clearly I knew I had heart failure again because of the swelling, so I was getting my shit together to leave to call an Uber and go to Parkland. Well, right before I'm about to leave, my left arm just goes dead. Dead. I mean, that's the craziest thing that's ever happened in my life, y'all. I gotta admit, my left arm just going dead. It just went dead. I've heard of people having pain in their arm for a heart attack and stuff, but I didn't have any pain. My left arm just quit working. And that's what freaked me out the most, because I was in no pain. I didn't feel anything. You can feel when you're, when your adrenaline's high and your blood pressure high and all that. You can feel that. I felt normal. Everything about me felt just like it feels now normal. Except my left arm wouldn't work. Little did I know I had a stroke. Yeah, I didn't even know, because I didn't feel it. I didn't feel a fucking thing. It just happened in my brain, in my conscious waking mind. Maybe there's I don't know, maybe our brain has some sort of protection against that. I don't know. But, you'd expect like a momentary blackout or something, or a momentary blip in your I didn't have any of that. Nothing happened to me. I never felt anything abnormal. I felt the same way now as I did then. It's just normal. But my left arm wouldn't work. My brother saved my life. Thank God he was close by when I called him, but fuck. Anyway, I gotta have $100 to give him meds by Thursday. Because y'all don't think about that in the holidays. Thanksgiving. A local church brought Thanksgiving meals to the residents at the place where I stay. And that was the only reason I got a Thanksgiving meal. We think it's going to happen on Christmas this year. When I lost my last place, I didn't just lose my place. You know what I lost? All my drum kits. I lost my drum kit. My beautiful green sparkle logo. I got the hardware. I didn't get I got the cymbals and the snare, but I had to leave the actual drums behind. Made me sad. I really wasn't sad at the time, but because my brother didn't have room to store them for me. That's all I want for Christmas. I want this little $200, $179, but I want this little electronic drum pad so I can play and record drums and stuff for things I'm working on. That's all I want for Christmas, and to be able to keep my temporary place to live. I'm sure I probably won't get that, whatever. You can always buy Amazon gift cards and just have them sent to my email address, dayglow76@yahoo.com, or globalrealityshow@gmail.com if you want to send Amazon gift cards for Christmas. If you want to send something to that, I mean, that would really make my holidays. Because I know I'm not going to get one. Jesus Christ. So I have a different room now than I had previously. And in the room next to me, check this shit out. 2 adults, 4 kids. You want to guess what color they are? Yeah, you guessed it. Mexicans. Illegals, of course. Because the kids aren't in school. If they were legals, those kids are school age. They'd be in school or not. They just let them run around here all day like it's fucking romper room. I'm about to call ICE on these motherfuckers. I mean, these are tiny little... I mean, we're talking smaller than an efficiency apartment. It's not like this is a huge, sprawling... This is a motel. A no-tell motel in every sense of the word, in these small... I mean, I don't even know how many square feet this is. This is like the size of a shed, or it's less than the size of a garage. You couldn't even fit... Maybe it's the size of a garage. Maybe. Depends on how big it is. A 1-car garage? Maybe. Nah, I wouldn't even say it's not even that big. They got 6 fucking people crammed in this motherfucker. 4 of them children. 2 adults and 4 children crammed. And they're living in there. It's not like they're just staying there. They've been living there for months. And they have a baby. And they just let that motherfucker scream and cry all night. Their TV cranked. I can hear it in the background while I'm doing the show right now. So if you ever hear any background noise and shit, that's the fucking dirty wetbacks next door. You know what? You know, ICE has a anonymous tip line, and they also have an anonymous reporting thing online you can do. It says it's anonymous, right? But what's the first fucking thing it does when you go to put in your complaint? It asks you for your information. Name, address, email, phone number. Like, wait a minute, I thought this was anonymous. You want all my info? I'm not fucking doing that. I can tell you to go back on there and make up a name and make up all the info or whatever, but... ICE needs to take care of these motherfuckers. Donnie J, where your eyes boys at? Get them down here. Seriously, they're a menace. Just letting their kids run around. I mean, the idea that you would want it to be quiet around a motel, because what do people generally do at motels, right? Well, 2 things. Sleep or fuck, right? Or do drugs, but it's ridiculous. I take y'all need to figure out on the deported train. Donnie J, get your eyes boys over here, son. Fucking motherfuckers. They're just a menace. If they kept to themselves and they're quiet and there wasn't weed smoke pouring out of their room constantly, not that I have anything against weed, but you know, just saying. If they weren't a menace and they were low key, I wouldn't have any complaints. They're not low key. They're an absolute menace. They need to be dealt with. Fuck it. Fuck. Alright, guys, I gotta pause to this. I'll be back in just a second. Alright. Are we going? Going again, hell? I can't even tell. Trying to see. I can't even tell if it's recording or not. I don't know. I thought it shows you, like, let me see. Yeah, okay. Alright, we're good. Sorry, guys. I had to pause it and I didn't know if it started back up recording when I came back. Yeah, I was gonna try to, I told you I was gonna go until I had to pee. Yeah, it lasted about 15 minutes. So maybe I'm pissing every 15 minutes and then not every 30 minutes. Well, it's only when I'm close proximity of taking my medicine anyway. So yeah, 240 by Tuesday and 100 by Thursday that we have to raise our immediate goals. And if you want to send me something for Christmas, Amazon gift cards would be great. Ominous fleet of Iranian-linked oil tankers off U.S. coast sparks alarm about Trump's widening war with Venezuela. Yeah, I'm all for everything he's doing. The blowing up the coke boats, I think it's fucking genius. You gotta understand, you don't remember when I reported a few months ago? You're on the show, it was in the news. Trump ordered a CIA-backed coup in Venezuela. But it didn't work. So, so shooting shit. They send these oil tankers from Venezuela to Iran. Yeah. So Trump started to confiscate them. Fuck yeah. We know where they're going. We know where they're bound for. We know where the money is flowing to. Yeah. I'm all for it. I'm all for everything he's doing. That bullshit in Minnesota. Oh my God. Listen, Ilhan Omar and all her Somali buddies. You know what they did? I'm not just talking about the money. That's treason. Do you remember what we used to do to traitors in this country, don't you? I mean, Ilhan Omar and her whole little Somali bunch should all be rounded up. And I think they should take Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and AOC and all the rest of those fucking left-wing nuts. You know what they should do to them? They should pry their eyes open, hold their eyes open, Clockwork Orange style, and make them watch as they execute Ilhan Omar. Throw what's this one? The dude Tim Walz, the dude Trump's off a retard. Throw Tim Walz in that watch list too. Pry their eyes open, Clockwork Orange style, and then make them watch as Ilhan Omar and her entire Ethiopian rob crew are executed by firing squad for being traitors. That's what I think we should do. If you got any balls at all, Trump, that's what you'll do. They are traitors to this country. And traditionally, we always took traitors and lined them up and shot them. And that's what her and her whole little fucking bunch need to have happen. I'm all for it. Let's fucking go. Second gear, guys. Sinkholes in Turkey Ominous warning to humanity as nearly 700 sinkholes consume Turkey, mirroring biblical prophecy. What? Well, y'all know what's supposed to make it pass, even though it's not any kind of close, quote, air quotes, close. But you know what it's supposed to make it pass close to Earth next Friday, don't you? The 19th. That fucking thing, I can't remember the name. It was Atlas A or whatever. The one that only one guy, Avi Loeb, the Jew from Harvard. Notice he's the only expert, the only scientist saying it could be alien craft. Yet everyone goes on and on about it could be an alien craft because one guy said so. Yeah, you know what else it could be? It could be Zentradi's from the show Robotech, the anime that I used to watch when I was a kid. Remember that? You ever see Robotech? I always thought that was Zentradi was in somehow related to Anunnaki because it ended with an I, you know. The Zentradi from Robotech, guess what they cruised in? They cruised in these ships that looked like they were made out of natural material. You know what they looked like? Go watch Robotech, the Macross Saga. Pay close attention to not their like fight scout ships and fighting ships, but like their huge transport vessels. You know what they look like? They look exactly like this fucking thing that's headed our way. Yeah. So fuck could be it. This could be the Zentradi from Robotech. And if it is, we're fucked. They're giants. And I'm not just talking about the giants are like they find in mounds in Ohio where they're like 8 foot. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like, you know, as tall as a building. Yeah. Anyway, point being, the sinkholes are opening up. That craft is coming by next Friday. You know, I don't know. Gigantic sinkholes, hundreds of feet deep, have been opening up throughout Turkey, mirroring biblical prophecy. That's funny. I never heard about sinkholes. I don't know. I must have skipped that part of the Bible. I don't remember anything about sinkholes in Turkey. And the Lord did make the sinkholes open up in Turkey. I don't remember that. The book of Numbers, chapter 6, describes the earth opening up and swallowing people as divine punishment for rebellion, a connection that some are drawing after the massive collapse in the Konya Plain. A key, there's no way to take it. That's a reach. Y'all are just using this to try to fucking make people give a fuck. You know how often sinkholes open up around the globe? Every day. There are sinkholes somewhere in the world that open up and they swallow cars and they swallow buildings. It happens literally every day. Go on YouTube and go down the sinkhole rabbit hole if you don't believe me. So the Bible actually said that the earth describes the earth opening up and swallowing people as divine punishment. Now they're talking about rebellion against God, and they're talking about the sinkhole, about the opening up and taking a person. Y'all are reaching. However, scientists point to far more earthly causes. Turkey's Disaster and Emergency Management Authority has reported that 648 massive sinkholes are primarily the result of severe drought and massive groundwater pumping. Yeah, imagine that. When you start sucking the groundwater out in a drought-filled area, the land, the ground is generally going to collapse. So you fucking idiots. Give me a second here, guys. So, do you guys remember? You probably don't, so I'll just tell you again. Forget about talking about the last time I talked about it. So, you guys might remember a while back I told you that all this bullshit about the AI war, it's over. It ended a long time ago, but yet they still act and talk like it's still going on. I told you, all the U.S. AIs are basically the same thing with slight differences with different names. But they were all created from a uniform. What happened was, so you know about the Manhattan Project, right? Okay, so we don't have a name for it yet. This will all come out probably decades from now, but I want you remember, your boy Josh told you about it before anything. So a while back, and I don't know exactly when, sometime in the last 5 years, it was shortly before ChatGPT came out, the first version. There was the West had a Manhattan Project of AI. All the best and the brightest came together and worked on creating a because they didn't want anybody creating something that could get out of control. Somebody did, but it wasn't one of the major tech companies. All the major tech companies got together. That's why every American AI they use, they're basically the same thing with slight differences in different names, that they are all based on the same design. And then, remember I told you about that, right? Well, yesterday, Trump signed a national framework. He signed an executive order for a national framework of artificial intelligence in the United States. That's bullshit. It's a show. It already happened. It already happened a long time ago. But you're going to start slowly finding out about it, so they want to make it look like it just happened recently, not that it happened even before ChatGPT came out. It's like I told you, the Chinese beat us. Their DeepSeek it's different. It's not based on any. It's superior. And so that AI, it wasn't built by some Chinese tech firm that's independent. No. That was made by the Chi-Com government. And therefore, they get to reap all of the funds from it. That's what Donald Trump wants. So this national framework for AI that he signed, bullshit executive order he signed yesterday, that's already happening. This AI Manhattan Project I was telling you about, it happened then. And then I wake up today and I find out that they announced Time Magazine's Person of the Year, which they do every year. And instead of being somebody like, I don't know, Charlie Kirk or even Trump, You know who it was? It wasn't an individual person. I thought the point of person of the year was to pick one single person, right? You would think. Person, not people. Person of the year, not people of the year, right? But guess who they chose? The architects of AI. And it's got Elon Musk and all, the bunch of Asian dudes and white tech guys. They're all sitting on a... Maybe you've seen those pictures, those old black and white pictures from when they're building skyscrapers in Manhattan, and guys are sitting on the long beams having lunch or whatever. It's a play on that. That cover, ladies and gentlemen, that's... Well, how many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so it's not the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's the 10 horsemen of the apocalypse. That's who Time Magazine's person, even though that's not a... So what are you trying to tell us? Are you trying to tell us the architects of AI are really all one person? Because that's how I take it. And you just sold it to us as these 10 people, separate people. That's what I take it as. But that's them. I mean, listen, Trump signed this executive order to create this national framework for AI happening a day before this photo comes out are not coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. This is a carefully executed and orchestrated plan to cover up something they already did years ago. But they want to keep it under wraps. Not like the Manhattan Project, where later we found out about it. If we ever find out about this, it'll be decades from now. But they had to do something to counter China, because their AI is far superior to ours, and this national framework and this, these 10 horsemen, these guys, they did their AI Manhattan Project. It was some time between now and 2020. So whenever it was when ChatGPT first came out, it was like the year before that, where they all got together and decided to create this unified AI technology that they would all have the ability to change subtly in their own way and market as their own AIs, when really they're all based on the same thing. All the American AIs. China is the only one that is actually out there that's actually a unique AI that's built on a unique architecture, unlike all the American versions. Yeah, it's crazy. I just couldn't believe that yesterday he signed this executive order for this national framework. I'm sitting there screaming at the TV when I had it on Fox News. I was sitting there screaming, going, they did this years ago. They're trying to make it look like they didn't do it until now. Same thing in Person of the Year. The architects of AI, it's 10 people. There, I said, there it is. So, last time it was the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Now it's the 10 horsemen of the AI apocalypse. I coined that phrase. You heard it here, folks. First, folks. Anyway. Dayglow76 at yahoo.com on PayPal. Reeves Radio, all lowercase, one word. Reeves Radio on the Cash App. Capital J, Josh, dash, capital R, Reeves, dash, 61 on Venmo. And again, globalrealityshow at gmail.com is my email address. You want to email me or send me an Amazon gift card for Christmas, that would be much appreciated. Thank you, guys. And I'll be back soon. My 77th film, This Is Serious, is out. Get a copy. I gotta eat and I gotta keep my temporary living space. I have $240 by Tuesday for that and $100 by Thursday to pay for my meds, okay? I love you guys.